coworker, and then I was just like, yeah, so you done any cool like dance party things or something like that? She was like, actually, I have been doing that a whole lot with my friends, and I'm like, that's wild, but apparently it's like an online thing, so I ask about it now.
Oh.
Yeah, the online dance parties, DJs come up and they just do it, and you're just at home dancing, and I don't get it at all, but women.
Sounds fun.
I think it's a more women-friendly thing. I don't know.
You're like, women. I'm like, that sounds fun.
Right. See, there it is.
Women.
Got him. Welcome to the EP Movie Podcast. I'm your host today, Dylan Camacho, and today we've got same host. Wait a minute.
Yep.
We finally did it. We replaced Price.
New season.
New season.
host.
New host. Price is out. We're in still. Introduce yourself, Annabeth.
I thought you were going to do that for me.
No.
Yeah, I'm Annabeth. Hi. What's up?
You may recognize Annabeth from that one episode of Third Star. Please go check out that review.
Yeah.
It's one of our favorites.
It is. We had a lot
Yeah.
to say about a lot
Oh, yeah.
of things.
All the things.
Yep.
Benedict Cumberbatch was in there.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Delightful movie.
Mm-hmm.
I scored it very highly for what it was. Anyway, guys, I'm just kidding. Price is passed away, so we just replaced him with Annabeth.
Yeah, it was subtle.
This was easier.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't figure you guys would notice. Annabeth at certain points will yell and scream at any one of us for talking for way longer than. But
Stop talking!
all right, see, there we go. Welcome.
Yeah, we got to get this thing rolling.
What
Yeah.
What are we talking about today, guys?
Gosh, I can't
Like,
remember.
well,
I don't
guys
know.
and gal. I guess I can't really say. You know, I
Yeah,
try,
guys is gender neutral.
I try to
Yeah,
stay
yeah,
conscious
yeah.
of that, but you're right. All right, what are we talking about, gang? I don't.
I feel like it's something to do with brothers.
The Brothers Grimm.
The brothers.
No, I think it might just be brothers.
Wait,
Yeah.
are we? Oh
I
man,
think we're
we are in the
rolling
same-
back in the
We're back in
basement.
the same
We're
set.
re-reviewing Brothers featuring Toby Maguire.
Hey, I'm dressed up again
You're
too,
dressed
My
so
wounds
you
are
know.
healed. Yeah,
It's
my wounds
true.
are
We got the
healed.
whole thing going.
Wait, are we talking about the Tom Hardy movie with the two brothers?
Oh, you're thinking of Legend.
Legend. I love that movie. Can we talk about that one? I'm kidding. All right, enough beating around the bush, guys. Welcome to the beginning of new season 3. 3?
Yeah.
3
Three.
of the F Movie Podcast. We're starting out this season a little differently. As you can tell, we've got a new studio! So, every new season, we just get a new studio. We're profiting very well from all of your views. Please keep it up. And,
So much money in our pockets because of you all.
yes.
Yeah, we're all about reinvesting too. That's why every season
Right.
we just put it all back
Every
into
penny
this project.
we've
Yep.
gotten from this channel has gone right back into this channel. We are a firm believer of this brand, so please continue to subscribe, hit that bell, all that stuff. You know the details. But anyway, so we're going to start this season off a little differently. We kicked Price out. Just kidding. Price is home. He's not working right now. He loves it when I say that.
He tells us a lot.
Yeah, and so we've been saying for a while we want to do some guest hosts back on the show, do a different movie, kind of do that take on it. And Annabeth was the first one that we called up, and here we are. So Annabeth, what's the movie we're talking about today?
Today we're talking about The Brothers Bloom, as you can see from the poster behind us.
It's not photoshopped.
It's-
That's an
Yeah,
actual.
this is real.
It's an actual poster, and we wish we could do this every time.
Yeah.
That's a lie. Our
Step it
CG
up.
budget is incredible.
It's all those
Making me
dollars.
have to work so hard now.
I know. Nathan, post production, more. We need more.
I think in common fashion, Nathan, you need to describe this movie.
Well, this is a documentary about two conmen and their exploits with a hanger-on named Bang Bang, who just kind of shows up one day and continues to be a part of their crew, according to them.
This perfect Asian unicorn. That's just
I mean, she's called Bang Bang for a reason. She
Mhm.
loves to blow things up. I'm getting completely derailed here, so
You are.
back on track.
Try again.
We open up with the wrapping of a well-executed story / con after the childhood thing. I almost forgot about the childhood part.
yeah. They do their childhood. Don't worry
Yeah.
about it.
It's, it's fine. That's not where the meat of it is. That's not where our actors are. So anyway, we wrap on this con. Which brother?
They called one of them like Steven,
Oh,
and the other
yeah,
one Blue.
Steven
Got
and Bloom.
Steven,
Adrian Brody
got
is Bloom.
Bloom.
Oh, so he's just Bloom.
Yeah, which is
Yeah.
kind of weird because they're supposed to be
'cause
Bloom.
they're the brothers Bloom.
I don't just call my
I had
brother
a few qualms with
his
this movie, and
okay.
that was one of them.
Yeah,
That's all right.
we're
So-
already into it.
Yes, Bloom. Bloom decides that he's done. It's over for him, and he goes to hide in on an island,
Montenegro? Yeah.
in Montenegro,
Yeah, I would have won that
and
trivia.
just drink his days away. But inevitably, his brother finds him with a new plan for a new heist, and he decides to check it out, and immediately is just enamored with the Mark, who is the most bizarre of women.
Yeah, this is Zoe Deschanel to like 50, like
Yo.
after many years of doing all of that quirky stuff. And
Yeah.
that's
Nothing against Rachel Weisz, but I think Zoe Deschanel could have destroyed that part.
You know, Jill was just saying to me today that she kept misremembering this movie as having Zoe Deschanel in it.
it's a very
So-
Zoe Deschanel like role. I'll give it that. But yeah, so she's extra quirky. Possible love story ensues. Possible con stuff ensues. It's constantly keeping us
It's
guessing.
it's a whole adventure from there that
Mhm.
she's taken along in just this fake story that in a lot of ways as it was going along I was thinking even if they're conning you, you're still having a fun time.
Mhm.
It still seems like it'd be a lot of fun.
This seems like an
I'd have a
adventure.
good time with that.
Mhm.
Yeah, there's
Might be
never-
out my whole family's fortune by the end of it, but
Details.
it's the memories.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're pay. You pay to go on vacation, right?
Same thing.
Yeah.
Same thing.
It's
So
Yeah.
yeah, that's the Brothers Bloom
Mhm.
in a nutshell.
yeah.
Very succinct as always.
This movie had a lot of different cons going on because halfway through they were obviously trying to go for her inheritance and her estate essentially.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, Mark Ruffalo's character was telling Adrian Brody's character not to fall in love with her, stay on target, we got to get this done. And she finds out that they're going after her at a certain point, and then there's another con that's on top of that, and they keep sort of piling it on to where you're like, all right, well, what
So
is it?
It's
are you
conception.
saying this is? Yeah, let's say, are you saying
know you're
this
going
is the
there.
inception of con?
This is. Yeah.
if we can call it that legally.
It's a pretty center point where there's the con. You're wondering if the con itself is a con, and
Yeah.
that con within a con mentality, and the big driving device in this movie is trying to see.
Sorry, there's a bug.
Wow.
Sorry.
I hope you got him.
I don't know if I did.
Oh boy,
It's hanging out on Dylan's shoulder.
worth it.
You're next. Don't blow your breath on me. This is Corona season.
Corona season. It's
And
wedding
we're-
season. And
We're
it's
doing it
Corona
all
season.
live. Don't worry, Nathan will cut all that out. So
Oh yeah,
I'm sure he will.
he won't do it.
never do.
He keeps every minute. So, anyway, all bugs aside, yeah, the con within the con is kind of like the driving motive in this whole movie. It's supposed to keep you guessing. Is all of this a con just to convince his brother to stay in and fall in love with this person? You're never really sure if Rachel Weisz is actually in on the con either. There's a lot of times they kind of imply that she's smarter off than the first layer of con, but you don't ever wonder if she's actually a player in the whole thing or not until roughly the end, and then you're like, okay, I'm pretty sure she's not.
Yeah.
That kind of, I think that's one of the more fun parts of the movie, but I do think it leans a little too heavily on it, because there are times where I feel as though that they're pushing to keep you guessing the entire time, and it distracts you from just the fun adventure that's also going on in the movie as well.
It didn't. I don't feel like for me it really distracted me too much because I didn't care whether or not it was a con, because I was just like, they're having a fun time.
Yeah.
It looks fun. I'm not bothered at what the end result of this is.
This was less of a focus and an Ocean's 12, and this was so much less than all of those heist and con type movies that are also comedies. I feel like this was 80% comedy, 20% con, or something like that. Where I'm with you, I didn't care at the towards the very end, because Adrian Brody just kept trying to get out of that game and kept trying to get out of the web that his brother was spinning ever since childhood. That's why he moved. It's always just about that last job. This is the last one. This is the last one. And I don't think there was ever anything at stake. That's why I don't think that you can really latch on to that, because like you said, all that was at stake was her inheritance.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, she might lose some money, but she's having a blast the whole time. Like,
And she was burning through it and didn't care one bit.
oh my
either.
god! Every time I saw that Lamborghini,
1 million there.
I was like, "This is outrageous." Like, this actually hurts a little.
Seeing that Lamborghini just get smashed to pieces so many
gosh.
times. As a person who doesn't care about cars, that was satisfying.
So I think if you can like turn that switch off at the beginning of just like, all right, this is just quippy. This is fun. This is, you know, kind of more of a blast than it is, you know, a con movie. Then, you know, I think it helps.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's also just as much like a storytelling movie.
Yeah.
Because that's what his brother ultimately was all about, was crafting those very interesting stories.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it may be a con, but I feel like so much more of the focus was just on, like, what the story was laying out as it went along, and, like, you seeing where it's like, oh, they got there slightly too soon, so, like, the Frenchman's hiding in the closet and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, that was all pretty funny.
That was a little funny.
Yeah, I agree with what you said. It's more about like telling a good story rather than, I mean, they're in it for the money, but really Steven just wants to do the perfect con, and you know, his whole thing is the perfect con is one where in the end everyone gets exactly what they want. So
Does everybody really?
I mean,
do?
that's what he says the perfect con is.
he does
Well,
say that.
I guess there's the implication that he dies happy with that one too, right? Isn't
Right.
that a line in it as
Yeah,
well? Like,
there's a part where Bloom says, you know, I think Steven really just wants to
to
die
as
on a
part
job.
of, right.
Yeah. So in the end, everyone gets exactly what they want.
The ending was by far the best part of this whole movie, in my opinion. I am completely leaning in on that because, like, and not just like it's cliche, I guess, of that, you know, oh, he actually died at the end, but as he was dying and like he was makeshifting like he was dying, and then he had the nerve to like get up and he played it off, like that part, I think it probably got all of us. I mean,
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I'll say that as far as that part goes, I'm not sure if I really like it or not. Like, narratively speaking, I like that from start to finish. It's one of those things that it's a movie that tells you how it's going to go. But then the movie plays out, and kind of what Mason said is it doesn't ever really feel like there's a lot of stakes. It seems all fun and adventure. So having a character die in a fun adventure and it not mean anything more other than just saying, but we told you at the beginning of the film, like, it didn't really sell me on that. Like, I'm one of the people in the camp that I'm like, I kind of don't really like that Ruffalo dies in this film because it just feels like it's, alright, it happens literally at the very end, and all we get out of it is Bloom sees that his brother died from the blood, and then he has a moment where he cries a little bit, and then credits, and I'm like, why?
I mean,
I
you're right. I could see at that point too. The reason why I liked it was just because like this whole movie was so upbeat and so like up in their fashion of just like this, you know, one joke goes into the next, one scene just kind of flows into the next. Like whenever she was going into whenever she was sneaking into, what was that?
The
treasury?
museum.
Yeah,
the museum.
The treasury to go to the catacomb.
You know, the ventilation, then she falls out, but then she sweet talks her way out. It was just this, like, one thing
Did
after
they
the
ever
other.
elaborate on how she
No.
gets
No,
away?
What the hell did she say?
No.
Yeah.
And apparently, Rachel Weisz had something in her head that was like, she told Ryan Johnson that she knew what Penelope said to get out of it, but she never told Ryan Johnson what she thought Penelope said to get out of it.
Yeah.
It's just like the weird, that was one of the,
I loved that.
like, kind of left it out, but I didn't dwell on that too much.
It's kind of more fun not
Yeah,
knowing.
it just
like,
makes
oh,
it
what
more
did
of that,
she-
like,
Yeah.
kind of quirky.
He's kissing her hand and everything too.
Yeah.
Like, it's
She had
much
so
fun.
many talents, like that little montage of her just like unicycling while she was juggling.
No, throw the
chains.
chainsaw.
Yeah.
I don't feel comfortable with this.
Throw the
Like,
chainsaw into my left hand.
Like whenever the Lamborghini drove up and like all they hid behind was that twig.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of stuff that was very, like I said, quippy, and I thought it was fun.
right. No, yeah, and something I was kind of saying off screen that I guess I'll say on air because that's where it should matter, but was that I feel like the female characters are really shining like a good pay grade above where like Steven and Bloom are, right? Or Ruffalo, maybe a little, like pretty close with Ruffalo. Ruffalo's really entertaining in this film. Brody is just kind of like the plain character who we're supposed to be projecting through as the main piece, so I get that. But then you look at like Bang Bang and Rachel Weisz's Penelope, thank you. You said it earlier, I would forget her name. Bang Bang is a memorable name.
Yeah.
But But then you look at Bang Bang and Penelope, and it just seems like every time they're on screen, they are just stealing the movie, like, which is great. Like, I thought they were performing really well, and it's just, there are a couple scenes I remember thinking, I'm like, this is strange, but I'm also can't turn away. Like, the train orgasm scene sticks out.
Oh, yeah.
I was wondering if that was going to get brought up.
It's gonna get brought up.
Weird.
Yeah,
Of course it is.
That was...
I really like thunderstorms, and I'm sitting here, and it's one of those things where I'm an adult, my wife's in the background, it's fine, like, she knows I'm watching a movie, but something about this orgasm scene going on as long as it is, like, it just makes a grown man just want to skip ahead, like, a couple seconds until it's over. I'm just like,
yeah, hit the mute button for a sec.
can we
I
scoot
thought
ahead?
it was hilarious.
It was funny, but it was funny in that, like,
she
you're-
just
Like,
kept
really
going
awkward,
and
yeah.
going and, like, was trying to reach out to him a
The
little
best
bit.
part
And,
was
like,
him
at-
escaping.
Yeah.
He's leaving, and as he's leaving, she's like, "I'm so horny."
the next
Like,
scene,
oh
just
my god.
him
Like,
playing
have a good
cards with
night.
Bang Bang.
Yeah.
I love that Bang Bang's just sitting there smoking a cigarette like that. Too.
Yeah, I don't know. There was a lot of just fun moments in this
Mhm.
movie, and it's,
Penelope getting Bang Bang's number is
Oh,
actually
yeah.
a really
Yeah.
great moment to me.
I
but
was
she-
thinking about that too when you were talking about those two characters.
Right.
Like, just like she gets the number, but
Bang Bang has a phone.
Bloom, yeah.
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 Yeah,
Yeah, no one had her number.
yeah,
She's
zero
so
people.
selective.
Yeah. When she's saying goodbye to them.
As she's leaving, they're just doing the phone stuff.
Yeah.
That part got me. I was like, that's super funny. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but Penelope's been with these brothers like this whole time, and she just totally is just like, nope. Oh man.
Whenever you said that, Mark Ruffalo was kind of shiny, and then Adrian Brody was just kind of like, man, and like the 3 stars. I don't know who Bang Bang is. I'll never see her in another movie, but the 3.
It is
Rinko Kikuchi.
Yes.
Yeah.
Rinko Kikuchi. What an unfortunate
Anyways,
last name for
those
me.
3 characters are identical to basically everything they've ever done. Mark Ruffalo is no different from his normal acting parts. Adrian Brody is the exact same in everything he does.
I don't believe
The
that.
Dejaring Limited or whatever, and then Rachel Wise in what was it, Insidious. She's been in all
And
these
Rinko
movies.
Kikuchi.
She has the exact same like persona, the exact same.
Wow,
like,
she's totally different in The Mummy, which she crushes.
I actually forgot she was in
Yeah.
the movie, but
Yeah.
that was also
Huh.
22 years ago. Or
That's
whatever
fine.
It
We'll
was.
come back to it. Don't worry.
Please don't.
Somehow we
Ruffalo
will get the
seems-
Mummy series.
Ruffalo seems to do a lot of serious parts, though, and in this
Oh,
he
yeah.
got to indulge his more like
Yeah.
quirky
I will
showman kind of side.
I think you could say that this character has a similar like lightheartedness that
Oh, I mean, he was
the Hulk.
he was Eric Bana. Yeah, I mean, he
Yeah,
like,
as
absolutely
Bruce
Banner.
He's got that. He's
Eric
got
Bana. Who is
Eric Bana. Eric
That's an
Bana is
actor.
a Hulk. He is the original Hulk actor.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Huh.
Is he?
Fun fact. Trivia. See, we have it on the show, Price. You would know, but you're not here anymore. Rest
you're
in
not
peace.
with us anymore.
Yeah. So yeah, Eric Bana is the original Hulk from the TV series.
But
The
I
one
do-
with the sad walking away one.
I think that yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think he does play a kind of like he's got a similar kind of feel to him, especially after why can I think of the Thor?
Thor Ragnarok is the one.
Yeah,
you're
Thor
looking for.
Ragnarok.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gosh, Thor Ragnarok. His character coming back out of that does
Mhm.
have a much more lightheartedness
Oh,
to
yeah.
him that does hearken to
Yeah,
his character.
it really feels like he pulled from this character to pull into that one. Like I'm like you definitely see a lot of like the fun side of Banner and all that.
But I will say, I feel like this character is more clever than Bruce Banner.
yeah, clever is the
Because-
word for it, right?
Mhm.
Because it's
Yeah.
not necessarily intelligent. You're talking about like a super IQ genius in the world.
Mhm.
But yeah, this one is just like the schemy con artisty guy, which
Yeah.
I actually really like seeing Ruffalo in because I see him in it's either that or serious drama roles, right? Like there's not really any middle ground for him on that stuff. And wait, he was in Foxcatcher, right?
Yeah, he was the brother.
Fuck, I forget.
If you want to talk about the one serious role I've ever seen him in, it was probably that one. He's in
Spotlight.
Begin Again. He is in Spotlight.
He's
that's
great
true.
in Spotlight,
Oh
but
my gosh, he is in Begin Again. I
Have you
love
seen
that
one?
movie.
Solid. I have the soundtrack.
we're gonna
It's
do a
really
Ruffalo
good.
month.
Yes.
We're not doing a Ruffalo month.
13
No,
going on 30.
no more themes. No more themes.
Ruffalo. Ruffalo.
Ruffa,
Ruffalo.
no thank you on this show. So, but we've talked a bit into what we liked and disliked about the movie, I guess. Let's, I don't know, do we want to keep doing Fat They Perfectly Fit? We were going to talk about that off air, but why? Let's just do it right on the camera. Nathan
do
will
it.
cut it out.
No, he won't.
I mean, we We can do it this time.
Yeah, we'll do it this time. It just feels weird not to have it for right now. We'll work on it.
We'll workshop
This is a work in progress. Anyway, let's talk about the shape of this movie. Fat, thin, perfectly fit. It's been a while since I've got that right.
Nailed it.
I know. I legit focused on that.
Wild.
In this part of the segment, you've seen it for the past couple seasons. But if you're just tuning in this season, you want to know what this is about. Fat movie, runs too long, has a lot of extra scenes. If you were editing it, you would cut it. Thin movie, kind of the opposite. It runs pretty short. You almost want more out of it. Or maybe the runtime just runs a little shorter. Whatever. Perfectly fit. The runtime matches all the scenes. You didn't feel like it was running over or under. Just a good, well-shaped movie. Well edited. Good stuff. Annabeth, we'll start with you.
We're starting with me.
Yeah.
Okay. I think it's pretty fit. I think there are like maybe I wouldn't even say there were any whole scenes that I would cut out. Maybe like little bits of scenes that go a little long, but I don't think so because I think it was all intentional. And like even I was watching it again yesterday with the commentary on, and and Ryan Johnson was talking about like the kissing scene where Bloom and Penelope kiss, and it's just so long and so awkward.
Yeah.
And he read what he had written in that part of the script, and it was just talking about how like they kissed for a little bit longer than any audience would want to watch. So I'm gonna say, this movie is perfectly fit. It knew what it was doing. It wanted you to watch those awkward kissing scenes.
Yeah, it definitely made you watch them.
Yeah.
God, the nose. Just...
He explained that part as like her entire like sexual awakening that was supposed to happen at puberty, but since she was so isolated, it's just like her entire like that whole thing just happened while she was with them. She never really was around many people, so that's why she was such an awkward kisser. Yeah, but I'm going with
I'll grab
perfectly
the reins next. I would agree that this is pretty fit. A lot of times whenever a movie's fit, it does end up being something where I'm like, but I want more. So I'm gonna throw out there that this is one that I would love to see a sequel for.
Ooh.
Like if we want to talk about fat, thick, perfectly fit, all that kind of thing.
Fat, thick, perfectly sequel.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, let's add that in.
I really want to hear your pitch for the sequel.
Yeah.
I just want more of this kind of storytelling.
Bang Bang Rachel,
It's good
Rachel Weisz
storytelling.
go off on an adventure. They start doing cons, and then they recruit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Oh, hold on.
Tell me about
We'll
the next
bring
movie
a
I
kid
wanna
into
watch.
this one, right? Because everybody loves a good like
Oh,
kid
no,
and mom.
please.
a good
Bring
10-year-old.
get a 10-year-old
Yeah.
con one that's just like super funny. Hell, you can get who's Spider-Man right now? Tom
Holland?
Yeah, bring
Yeah.
Tom Holland on. Whatever.
Okay.
Everybody loves that guy. He's great.
He's endearing.
Yeah.
He would have been like 4 at this movie's beginning.
Yeah, I mean, but he's
6.
like 16 or 17 now. He might actually be 18. Don't quote me. Sorry, Tom Holland. I don't know your age off the top of my head.
He's
but,
like 22.
Yeah, he's definitely old.
Yeah.
So, sequel. That's good.
Sequel.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, you want a sequel. All right.
Mason.
I'm gonna go with fit as well. I don't think that this movie could have been strung out anymore. Just because it's like a fit movie doesn't necessarily mean that I would sit there and like, want to just get right back into it either. It's just one of those things. I couldn't tell you what the runtime on this is. That's what I was trying to look for earlier.
It's about 145 or so.
Yeah,
I think with credits and everything, it goes a little over.
It doesn't feel long, and that helps it.
Yeah.
I don't know. The comedy was this thing's best attribute. I mean, they were spot on. I think that they knew what cast they had and what worked. Rachel Weisz, like I said, is just this. That part with the montage was just so good.
Yeah,
like,
that's solid.
She was like playing that harp just beautifully. Like whenever he first saw her, and just I don't know. There's just so many good parts.
Piano,
I don't think
guitar.
I don't think that you could add much to this movie where I would necessarily care a whole lot more, and I don't think you could take anything out without it just diminishing it. So I'll just go with fit.
I'm on the fence between fit and thin, honestly, because I am there's stuff I want to add to it because I want to see it, but I also understand it makes the movie work less, and that I would want to see so much more like bang bang background stuff. You could literally give me like a whole extra 10
do you want an
minutes.
anime cutscene?
Yeah, I want a whole
that
Kill Bill
breaks
style.
sequence
You always
and tells the
want-
past
Give me
of this character.
You always want the fourth character's like
The fourth character keeps being the most
uprising.
entertaining. So.
It's so
All right,
crazy.
listen, I don't even need like the background. If I could even just get like a funny like couple future clips or something like that towards the end of the film, or even in the credit roll, right? As the
Yeah,
credits are about to
definitely.
roll.
I was
Oh,
thinking
that would have
credit
been
roll.
good.
Like, in
just
between, just
random
show- right.
scenes of Bang Bang in the credits.
Maybe even just have like a book, and it's like all these other con people that she's been with at some point or something like that. And
And
it's
she like checks off where you say the brothers
Yeah.
Bloom or whatever.
little
Bloom
like
brothers.
little anime drawings or something like that. Something awesome like that.
Yeah.
I think that would be fun. I don't want too much more because the mystique is so much for the fun of that character. So if you give too much, then I get it. It totally loses the point. I see you directors. I know what I'm talking about. Same thing with Rachel Weisz's character Penelope. It's one of those things where it's quirky enough, but you don't want to do overexposure because then it just feels like too much. So yeah, I guess I do land right on fit. Like if you add even a little bit more, it does start to get a little bit unbalanced, and it starts to break the delicate little mystery and intrigue that the whole movie's trying to keep up throughout the whole film. But yeah, I mean, I guess with that aside, I mean, I would watch the sequel. I already pitched it. Ryan Johnson, hit me up. I do great sequels on this channel.
These people are only like 10 years older than
Listen,
they once were.
I've got an awesome idea for The Mummy 6, okay? You didn't even know they were at 5. Trust me, I looked. Let's get in the scores.
Let's do it.
Scores?
Of course.
Mason.
I forgot to mention earlier, my favorite scene of the whole movie, and the reason why I'm going to rate this the way that it does, because I wish that they could have experimented a little bit more with some of the cinematography of it. Because, so whenever they first introduced the Frenchman, she's on the back of that boat, and like, you know, they had the band playing, and then the lights on the back deck, and then it, for some reason, got really dark, right? And then the music just stopped, and then they introduced like this red lighting every so often. It was like a beacon or something.
Yeah.
And, you know, it introduced him in a really mysterious way. Never again. Like, that was the strangest, like, tidbit of different filming that they did in the entire movie.
Well, that was his big entrance.
It was, and I respect it. I loved it. I just...
So are you saying they could have done, like, again with Kill Bill, where, like, every character had
their
this
own
little bit of an
color.
introduction?
A little bit of
Different,
a,
you know.
Okay.
a visual introduction, so to
And-
speak, not necessarily a full-on.
I don't know why that stuck out to me so much. Even after this movie finished, I was like, man, that one part was sick. You know, like then they, and then of course he just like backed up into the shadows again, and then all the normal lights came on, then the band started playing again, and then Adrian Brody's. I was just like, what the hell was that? And then he was there like the next scene, and I was like, this is stupid. Why didn't they just like they could have done this so? Anyways,
Okay. Yeah.
I can see where the intrigue automatically just disappears from
Well,
that.
it's-
Like, it builds up to just brunch.
if you guys notice, this is the director of Brick. He had a very strange movie, Brick, that was.
Price loved it.
Oh,
Watch
Yeah,
the review.
I can't sit here and explain that movie. You'll have to watch, but it's very different and it's filmed very weirdly, and I feel like that was his like little experiment. I just wanted more of it. Is it my turn for scores?
Yep.
Okay. Sorry. So with no further ado, I'm gonna give this movie. I said earlier it is fit, but I think it's a 6.5 for me. This is a weird mix of comedy and comedy heist, whatever you want to call it.
A little bit of rom-com, too.
Eh,
A little bit.
I guess
Little.
there's too much like side character for rom-com, but I don't know. This movie, I wanted like one or the other, and I feel like they just kept pushing that con thing and kept pushing it and kept pushing it. The ending did help it. Him actually dying at the end and had a little bit of that fate to it, like fatality. I think definitely helped it for me. I just don't know where to land on this movie. It was so different, and I liked it going through. Because, like I said, all the quirks and all of her... She did remind me of Zooey Deschanel from, like, 500 Days of Summer, where she was just constantly badgering and weird commentary or dialogue between everyone. But, yeah, 6.5 is where I land. It's just kind of different for me.
That's fair. This does kind of... Now that you mentioned 500 Days of Summer and we're talking Zooey Deschanel, I'm like, this is just 500 Days of Summer meets Snatch a little bit, isn't it? Like...
What?
Which is
Who
not
would've thought?
not a terrible premise for a movie, all things considered. Like, execution was well, which is why I'm going to go into this movie with a 7. It was good. I had a fun time with it. There were a couple times in the middle I felt like it was losing my interest, and that kind of hurt it. I think the movie's fit. It's fun. But we get to the ending, and this is where I kind of have the gripes with it. And I mentioned earlier, it's just... is it poetic and narratively great that he dies? Yes. Do I like it? Not really. I mean, that's just the truth. It lands, and then I'm just like... But then we don't get anything out of it other than that just like, checkbox. Done. All right. And it just feels like for the sake of hitting that checkbox, and I don't know. It didn't feel organic enough for me for him to die. Like if there was something more, or if we found that there's a little bit more to like the Diamond Dog plot that made it like he needed to die for this or something like that. Maybe that's part of the mystique, Dylan. Maybe you just need to read more into it. Listen, Ryan Johnson, you're much better writer than me, and as far as telling that story and stuff goes, maybe that's what you were going for. I don't know. I just didn't want to take it that way. Whatever. It bothers me. Mark Ruffalo died. He was really fun. Why does he have to die? And then bang bang, just. We don't get any more of her, so that kind of was whatever. But, no, this movie's super fun and charming at the moments that it is. But, yeah, I don't know. Something about just chunks in the middle. I feel like whenever it was doing the romance focus part, I never really hopped on board with that. Mm-hmm. And I think that's my other big problem with this film, is that I never felt really connected when Adrian Brody and, like, his big toucan beak is getting in the way of their kisses. Like, that, I don't know. Those movies, like, and it's intentionally cringy, which I totally get. But it's also to the point where I'm like, I also don't buy the romance between them. Like, it just...
This is like... So I mentioned earlier, Ocean's 12, Ocean's 13, you know, all that, and Focus. Like, those movies have similar things where it's a lot of comedy, but there's very much this, like, driven plot of, like, oh, we're going to make a lot of money, we're going to do this. Mm-hmm. And those work. Like, Focus kind of gets shit on. But Focus had Will Smith and Margot Robbie.
There's enough sustenance in those movies to kind of keep the plot there, though.
This one had more comedy than it did the other, so I don't know if that was its weakness or what for me. But yeah, like you said.
I'll agree. I think the so to speak, the lack of focus on the genre picking for this one did kind of put me in this weird angle where I'm like, the parts of it that I liked when it's on track for this track, it works. For these other parts, I just was less interested. And it's not to say that's bad. I mean, it's good. That's why I want to keep it right around 7. If it was like a bad or worse movie, I'd go a little bit less. But, you know, the moments of it were fun. But I kind of just wish I had more fun with the film overall. So, yeah, that's just where I land. I'll land on a 7. It's a fun ride, though. Go watch it. Nathan, got to hold Annabeth for last.
Yeah.
I think this movie is a really fun adventure. I know it is a con movie in a way, but to me, so much of watching this movie was just being like, all right, what's Mark Ruffalo got planned for the next scene? Mm-hmm. Because it's a movie, and movies are all about a plot and a scene and a story and everything, but it's a movie about somebody creating a story in a real world fiction. I like it quite a bit. Mm-hmm. I found it very funny. The awkward stuff I also found funny. I got all the humor in the movie. I think for me it's gonna be at an 8.5. It's very solid. I enjoy it a lot. I would like to see more of it. I thought all the characters were solid. Yeah, it's a fun ride, and I feel like I just maybe don't take the con side of it too seriously, and it benefits from that for me at least.
Yeah. So, do you think that Mark Ruffalo's character at the end does it handicap it a little bit when that happens, or do you think that it strengthens it? And would you still want a sequel the way that it ended now, or would you change the ending?
It does kind of kill that character that was the impetus for everything happening. Mm-hmm. So, in a way, if there were to be another one, could it even be that kind of tale? Yeah. I don't know. So, would I have liked Mark Ruffalo to still live? Sure. Yeah. That would have been nice, because, again, I think it would be fun to see more of this kind of a story, where it's a story about somebody telling a story to trick people. Mm-hmm. It's really fun.
Just every Christmas, he just randomly does it again. I'm like, damn it, Steven, how many times?
That's so to get back into that a little bit. That's what I thought was fun about this, was just thinking like, is all of this fake? Mm-hmm. Is he tricking his brother? Mm-hmm. And I thought that was fun. Yeah. Like that might be what's happening the whole time too. Like just the idea of getting caught up in like a story like that does sound pretty fun. But yeah, I mean, it's a bit of a bummer that he dies, but it just seemed like it was going to happen. I mean, everything about the way that whole thing was set up, it being on like this stage with the light cast on it, like it was,
and the sunset on the backdrop.
Oh yeah, it was all very exactly
Showy.
designed to be like, this is the end of this.
It's his grand
teller of
finale, and it's
stories,
how
yeah.
he wanted it to end.
And
you
I think
know?
his
He-
final words to his brother were like, "I just wish you had a bigger audience."
Yeah.
You know, and then the scene pretty much ended, and
And then Mark Ruffalo dies from technically suicide.
just sitting there.
Planned. I mean, he got shot and he bleeds out, so but he organized his
Dylan, if
shooting
you
to
get-
begin with, so
I
Shanked in an alley? Is that suicide?
technically. I mean, did you pay the homeless guy to stab you? Like,
Annabeth, let's hear it.
Okay,
Your
first of
movie.
all, I want to say that I love that you gave it an 8.5 because so there's a movie called 8.5, and Ryan Johnson cites that as one of his influences for this movie. So good job.
Wow.
Lots of layers.
Full circle.
There. That's good. That's very
That's
keeping in
trivia
theme of the
time.
movie. There's like hidden meaning.
is this review a con?
Maybe?
Oh.
I can't handle it anymore.
Yeah, stop!
Yes!
How many
On
layers
within
deep
a
are we?
Steven! It's Price the whole time.
Yeah, okay, so it's my turn. I love this movie. Love it a lot.
She has the poster.
I do. I saw this movie for the first time, like, when it first came out. It was a very memorable movie-going experience because it was, like, the middle of summer, and I just went to the movie theater by myself that morning because I was like, oh, movie's out, gotta go see it. I was the only one in the theater.
Ooh.
Completely
Those are the
alone.
best.
It was great.
Yeah.
Had the whole theater to myself.
Yep.
Even before this movie came out, I was obsessed with this movie. Like, I watched the trailer who knows how many times. And I was just like, man, I can't wait for this movie to come out. And I was not disappointed. And I watched it again this week in preparation for this podcast. And I hadn't seen it in several years. And I was like, oh man, I'm nervous. Is it gonna hold up? 100%. I give this movie a 10. I love this.
Nice.
Where's the button? Sorry.
It's a 10.
Oh, beating on the table now.
Oh,
we
yeah.
have a 10 for you guys.
It's terrible for the audio, but
Yeah, sorry.
so for those wondering at home, where's the 10 button from season 2?
We're not sure.
We left it in Price's grave when he got there.
Yeah. you
He,
know.
yeah, he actually held it in his.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
It's
his
his
last.
heart.
Mhm.
Clutching it like
You-
a flower.
Yeah.
We
you
wrote
know,
Tim and
I-
Eric's $1 billion movie on it just for
Oh,
you.
Yeah. You did give it a 10 Price.
Yeah.
You did- we put the dirt on there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, but anyway,
10.
back to my 10.
Everybody hold up 10s. This is important.
I wish we had like the cards. And
Oh
say,
yeah.
like,
yeah.
10.
Like
Oh, maybe
whenever
that
he
would
was
be a
going
nice
down
touch.
the
That would've
hill
been
on the
good.
bicycle.
Honestly,
yeah.
one of the better
We
parts.
should've-
That was a solid part.
That was so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, I
Bang
just
Bang trying to figure out how
Yeah.
she can change her
Right,
score
she's
with the cards
flipping
she's
it
got.
yeah. No, I just love this movie. I love all the details that go into it. Like, just I read the script. The script is so good. It's so like poetically written. I love all the themes and how it's about storytelling and stories within stories. And you know, the whole con thing. Like, yes, it's a con within a con. Maybe that takes away something for you.
I just couldn't
guys,
watch a plot within a
but-
plot movie, you know?
Yeah,
That just
you
bothers
hate
me.
those.
That.
Yeah.
But,
Hate
like-
those.
Yeah, that's so not your thing.
Yeah,
I'm just not a fan.
Inception's
Definitely not.
not like that.
3 plots. 3 plots.
Oh,
That's the difference.
Sorry.
If you're gonna go in, you go 3. You don't stop at 2.
But we keep interrupting.
Go ahead, Emma. Sorry, you're
No,
saying.
I was just saying, like, you know, maybe you guys didn't like that it was like, oh, is it a comedy? Is it a con? I think it's kind of like you said. It's mostly just telling a story, and Steven's not in it for, you know, the money necessarily, or, like, the perfect con as far as, like, oh, how can I pull the wool over on people? He's ultimately doing this last con for Bloom to make his brother happy and give him what he wants. So I think, like, yeah, it's an adventure story. It's a comedy. It's a con. It's a little bit of everything, because it's just, oh, I love this movie. And it's got so many, like, layers and details and just, like, literary references, mythology references. The costumes are all so, like,
Yeah.
Black.
on point.
Yeah.
Well, like, black and white and red, and there's a color scheme, and,
We
so good.
we have talked about in like other podcasts, I can't remember which videos, but we all agree where like when you watch these movies way back when, you hold on to some things more than others. Like for instance, Dylan and Remember Me, you know, me and like I hate to just keep bringing this up, but that was me with Raw. Like,
Yeah.
like I was looking forward to this movie 2 years before it was made because I like the concept.
I was about to say, your description of that
it's-
was his description of Raw.
It's
so.
it's all about like either A, who you see it with, B, the timing of the movie. You know, maybe like you said, you research it beforehand, and if it lands, it really, really, really lands. Yeah, so we totally understand.
I love it. I think it's just like such a good movie.
Yeah.
And just like I said, I know pretty much every movie has like really great attention to detail, and the writers and directors really thought about all the things, but this is just like
Foxcatcher, they didn't. That movie's trash. They didn't think about a thing in that one, but or pathology.
Thought about a lot of rain and grim.
Yeah, despair. But now, okay, so here's my question. You put this out of 10, right? How many 10s do you like? How many 10s are on the 10 list? Is it saturated or is this like a small handful of 10s?
It's like a small handful.
Small handful. Okay.
Yeah,
that's
good.
I would say I would give like, let's see, how many other movies would I give a 10?
Yeah, we just want a number, not
Yeah,
exactly
don't-
the title.
No,
We don't want
I'm
to hear
just
them because
saying,
we like
no
the
spoilers.
mystique. Yeah, no
Like-
spoilers. on
like
this one.
3 to 5 movies in
Okay.
all
Okay,
of
that's fair, that's
movie
good.
history, I would give a 10.
That's healthy. That's
yeah,
healthy.
so this is one of my 10s.
Awesome. We know where you where your forte lies.
Yeah.
That's good.
Who knew that Adrian Brody could get a 10?
Well, Dylan, do we have someone else for next week?
Nope, that's our show, guys. So if you want to
It's
see
the end of season 3.
End of season 3. No, we're kidding. Who do we got next week?
I think it's Jill.
We got Jill, number 1 commenter. She's watching right now.
She's upstairs.
Right now, she's watching. By that I mean she's watching one
Yeah.
of these videos uploaded, and she's watching right
Yeah.
now.
Mhm.
gonna put
She's
them
watching
on.
Nathan edit the video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And at the time of this film, we're still unsure which one we're landing with the Jill's
Yeah,
pick.
she hasn't picked yet.
All right, so we don't know what Jill's picking
I
yet.
tried
so-
to ask her 3 days ago.
Yeah, we've tried asking the answer changes every
She's
time.
still undecided because Nathan won't admit to which movies that
He
he
has.
has actually seen that she's suggested.
You see, it's a
So,
con.
It is a con. It's all a con.
That's why he's so well dressed.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, make sure to tune in next week for whatever movie we're talking
Yeah,
about.
it's a
It'll be in the
surprise.
title.
Yep.
Just watch the movie after you see the
Yeah,
title.
absolutely. Price will definitely
Probably
still be kicked off the podcast. He was killing our views. We just let him go.
Yeah, this is the season of guest stars because you're just replacing Price each time.
That's true. It's kind of like that season of the Chappelle Show where they just kept having like Wayne Brady and other people kind of hop on for that one. It's kind of this, but
Those are some of the best skits too.
But let me backtrack because that's gonna make it seem like Price is the main host and he's not. All right, guys, that's our show. If you liked it without Price, make sure to like this video. Subscribe to the channel if this is your first time tuning in. Welcome to season 3. I hope you enjoyed the content. Make sure to tune in next week for whatever it is that we're gonna be watching. We don't even know yet.
Probably a horse movie.
Yep. Annabeth
Flicka.
will not be here. Will be here. I don't know.
Where
You
should
gonna watch
we?
the movie with
Nah, let Jill shine.
All right, just Jill. All right,
Just Jill.
we're gonna trade it out and.
Okay, so
Yeah.
last time I was on the podcast, Jill and I chose Third Star.
Yeah.
Would you say that with my pick, I have at least redeemed my half
Yes.
of our duo?
You have
Oh,
redeemed
absolutely.
your half with this pick.
Excellent.
But you could have picked a turd in the yard, and it may have
Oh.
also won us over.
That's fair.
That's fair.
I'm actually disappointed I didn't hate this movie.
Oh,
Yeah,
you wanted to hate
I
it.
want at this point I'm
I
like
fully expected less out of you.
Right.
If I'm being honest.
Oh!
you punched
Oh,
you punched
okay.
above
I
your
did.
pay grade, so now I'm like, all right.
Oh.
fine.
Hey, it's
man.
okay. I punch above my pay grade occasionally.
Yeah, every like 5 months, Nathan just puts a good movie out there.
Oh, man.
That just surprises us. But no, all right, you're 50-50. You're 50-50 so far,
Okay.
so that's not a terrible one. I mean, you're
not
still
bad.
that's still a D.
Technically, that was only a
F.
half of that.
It's an
So
F, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
it might be
I
more
haven't
like
been to school in a
60,
while.
65%.
Oh, there we
Checks
go.
out.
I don't know. We've been running for way too long, guys. That's our show. Make sure to hit the bell so you know that whenever we're gonna go do a new video, you know how that works. And the price bell isn't here. See y'all next week. Everybody wave. Why are we waving? Quit it.
Ooh.